everybody, and welcome back to more BTS Americas 3 action here. We are in our second best of 3 series today. We're still in round number 1 of the bracket. I'll give you another quick peek at the bracket at the moment. You can see we're down there at the bottom. It's Power of Friendship going toe-to-toe against SwaG and Tiger here. I'm KotLGuy, going to be joined again by Blaze remotely. And we just witnessed game number 1, a very strong performance from Power of Friendship there, Blaze. They saw the SwaG and Tiger Morphling come out there at the end, and they opted for the Ursa. And would you say that all went according to plan for them, or would you say otherwise? Let me know. I can't hear you, Blaze. I have muted myself. Hi, Blaze. I'm sorry I didn't hear anything I said right there because I muted myself, but I introduced the teams. I said you were absolutely a beautiful flower today, and I was curious about your opinion on game number 1 as far as the commitment to the Ursa from Power of Friendship, and if you think everything went according to plan or if you thought otherwise.
But they had two kind of internal clocks ticking on their team. They're the Night Stalker day-night cycle, and they had the Ursa Roche cycle. So essentially they had 2 ways of kind of timing themselves as far as tempo and as far as control of the map, and they were able to sync up with that really well. They were able to take advantage of the nighttime. They were able to get Roche when it was most viable and continue to get Roche every time it came up, with the exception of one snag from SwaG and Tiger. So across the board, Power Friendship, they were able to take advantage of their hero strengths at the times, timing windows in which they were most powerful, and SwaG and Tiger really just lost map control from there. The Morphling got off to a rough start, had a really long road to come back from, and yeah, I feel like overall just Power Friendship brought a lot of great things to the first draft that we're not going to be seeing in this one. Earth Spirit, Tusk, Night Stalker, all 3 banned out along with the Lone Druid, and while SwaG and Tiger will open up with Avenge, as we've seen a lot tonight, we're going to be seeing the Nature's Prophet as one of the 2 heroes to respond with for PoF.
The Nature's Prophet first pick. All right, that's interesting enough as it is. Maybe they're quick to grab them and know that maybe the new Nature's Prophet, because we got to see it a couple of times in the core position. I know it came out specifically from EG. I want to say another team rolled with it as well. Maybe they're banking on the fact that it is now more of a flexible position and you can, change it up to offlane or core. I just find it a bit interesting. Not just that, but the fact also that unless SwaG grab it up now, another game where potentially Faceless Void is just going to be totally ignored. This was a top go-to grab during MDL, and it looks like SwaG and Tiger are going to still grab up 2 very potent picks here, Vengeful Spirit, and they'll get the Invoker follow-up.
So the last time that Power Friendship ran the Nature's Prophet, they had it for snaking in the safe lane, but he was soloing with it. They went for an aggressive tri-lane, and they were able to pressure their opponents quite a bit. And this was actually pretty recent. This was within the past 2 weeks. So probably looking for a similar strategy where they can start dominating the map. Maybe not necessarily going for the aggro try until they know what carry they're up against and then making that call. But the great thing about Nature's Prophet safe lane solo is not just that he's getting more farm than normal and that he's going to get good experience. It's that he can make that aggressive tri-lane so potent because he's able to join the fight, make it a 4v3, make the dives happen. You get 2 kills every time you go under that tower, and then whenever he feels like sticking around, he's actually able to push the tower as well.
It looks like they will at least acknowledge the Faceless Void in the second phase and ban it out here. On the side of Power Friendship, SwaG get rid of the Razor. It's a bit interesting. More teams seem to be opting for going for something like a Viper before grabbing up a Razor if they really needed a mid lane dominator to go against the Invoker. And again, they're going to be not acknowledging the OD, which was picked up in the last game. And I got to say, Poop played it pretty well. At first, I didn't know if he was in the game, but he actually just switched colors. It looks like with way 2 there, but he is back, and I like the ban though on the Batrider. I guess when you do a first commitment pick to a Vengeful Spirit, you're, for a lot of teams, especially for most of the teams we saw at MDL, it was an insurance policy where you didn't have to worry about the auto counter right then and there. So, or maybe they just feared the lockdown. So we'll see. Do you suspect that there's a good chance that Power Friendship could just go back for the OD once more?
They definitely have that option, and it could be very powerful in their own right, but I almost curious if they're trying to look to bait it. What we've seen from a couple of teams, including themselves, is actually getting the opponent to pick OD and then picking a Pugna along with the Nature's Prophet. The Pugna Nether Ward is really strong against the OD's Arcane Orb, and then of course you have the push that the Nature's Prophet already excels in, and Pugna can take just about any lane in this kind of configuration. So that's the last response they had for the OD, whereas essentially if you want it, you can have it, and we'll just go ahead and pick up the Pugna response. In this case, it's harder to run because you have the Invoker mid. You'd have to run the OD safe lane, and things get a little more convoluted. But I think they're okay with leaving it on the table at least until the fourth pick, and then kind of figuring things out from there. For their third pick, probably better to just get an aggressive support with a good initiation. Not a lot in the pool is my mentality right now. The first phase took out a lot of those good frontline supports. So, hell, an Ogre Magi or something that's just get in their face, do something.
Yeah, a good, more tanky frontliner, I guess, could fit the bill there. We'll have to see what they do decide to opt for at this point. Chewing through a lot of the reserve time already, though, is Power of Friendship making a deciding factor for the third pick, and they're going to be stepping off
Radiant
for the Earthshaker here. So, yet to identify if this is going to be the tag team support to go along with the Dazzle, or maybe an off-lane pickup here for MJW. I know he's definitely played some Earthshaker in the past. I don't know about recent history or not, but overall provides some great disengage and a hefty high ground defense. I would normally say for the potential of being able to stall games out for a hefty core, but if this is still going to be a safe lane Nature's Prophet, that would be the case. So
I'm not so sure anymore. I feel like Snake King could easily just pick up Spectre here. That they could run the offlane Furion, get Dazzle and Earthshaker to protect the Spectre. If they get a Zeus for their fifth pick, great. That'll probably be banned out. I think that Snake King Spectre makes the most sense here. You have the two best supports for enabling a carry to get online by just protecting him against whatever SwaG can throw at him. I mean, you can pick the two most aggressive heroes to go in that off lane, and still the Dazzle Earthshaker will have a way to deal with it. So I feel overall that this is going to be, these two defensive supports should set up a really greedy pick for Snake King rather than the push-oriented one that I was talking about.
I wouldn't mind the Spectre because you already have a bit of global flair with the Nature's Prophet, so it would be a really nice tag team. So I do like the idea. Response for SwaG, you're talking about, good frontliner, and I guess could be a chunky disabler in its own right with a good Nether Strike and a couple of bashes. Spirit Breaker going to be coming out now for them, and there is a Darkseer still on the table, so they could always grab, keep the Spirit Breaker in that 4 position and grab something like a Darkseer so that they could benefit more from like the Ion Shell, let's say. But we'll have to see. Go back to Power Friendship side, and they don't have much. Well, they have a Fissure to be able to stop the Spirit Breaker, but we'll see if that's enough for them to settle on.
Yeah, should be enough to mitigate its effectiveness overall. The Nature's Prophet can also counter gank really effectively, so the Spirit Breaker is probably still in the match in general. Hero composition matchups stronger against the Nature's Prophet because he's great at just focusing him down, charging on top of him, and Sprout TP is not really going to work as well against him. In general, you're able to stay right on top of him. So I think the Spirit Breaker is really good if he doesn't get detected, and that goes back to the map control aspect. Can SwaG and Tucker get the wards up, and more importantly, prevent vision from their opponents? That's going to be very essential as we go into the second half of this game. But Puck here is going to be the pickup for Power Friendship. I find a lot of interest in this pick. Obviously, it's one of the many mid laners who doesn't really care about Spirit Breaker charging against him, as he can just phase shift at least the first hit from the Charge of Darkness and kind of go from there. It's also really good at surviving against the Vengeful Spirit stun play. So, in general, Puck is a hero that's not going to die unless he makes a huge mistake in his cooldown usage, and is going to, if he gets an early Blink Dagger, just be able to just snowball. Like we saw Poop very effectively building up his item pool really early on in game 1. If he is able to go such an early Blink Dagger, treads, etc., that he could start building into like a Dagon or something like that, I could feel like they could just go for quick kills left, right, and center with Wrath of Nature, Fissure, and then the Puck.
Now this is going to be fun because at least I haven't seen much from Poop overall, and Puck is a hero which you really get to know a mid laner and what they have to bring. It's a very stylish kind of a hero, so we'll get to see what kind of moves he can make, which is going to be nice. Now with the Puck commitment already here, Blaze, does that allude more to the idea? Oh, there it goes. But I was going to say getting a fat core to fall back on, because the 4-man lineup that Power Friendship have right now really doesn't allude to a whole lot of efficient late game. And now you're going against a Spectre. Do they turn it up and hope to not go late game at all? I don't know if you have to go as ballsy as getting the Ursa or something like that again, or do you get something for Snay that can still contest a Spectre later on? I don't know if Morphling is the answer, but maybe something else.
You ask a very good question, because I'm honestly looking at SwaG and Tucker's potential last pick, and say they go for like a Tidehunter for their 5th, or something that's just really good in AoE disable and teamfight. The late game is scary. The late game is terrifying because they have control, they have damage from Invoker and Spectre. I feel like initially Power Friendship were looking to go late, and they could still have that option if they're really confident in Snake King's potential over Pepitas. But I feel at least dominating the map and getting earlier towers would probably suit what they're up against a little better.
Man, well, we're going to find out in a moment here what they decided to do. They only have 18 seconds of reserve time to make that kind of commitment here or not. But if this Spectre is going to be able to have a relatively safe experience in the laning phase and build up fast, later in the game, or even when the Radiant starts coming in, it's going to be a very difficult game for someone like this Dazzle, and being able to kind of find the support without having to be forced to grave himself, let's say. Okay, Lycan cool. is going to be the pick, which kind of puts them in a more peaking window before the Spectre will, and does ramp up their push game quite a bit. You have Lycan with his Wolves, you got Nature's Prophet, Treants, you got plenty to be able to do, Dazzle Wave heal bombs with, and great armor to add on top of it. So with the Dazzle Medallion, let's say, they're on Dire's side, huge Roche potential. How you feeling about the 5-man spread here for Power Friendship?
I think it's really strong. The Tide is going to be the last pick for SwaG anyways, despite his deficiencies surviving against Fisher. If he gets kind of picked off by that, he's still, no matter what spells he has, no matter how much Kraken Shell he picks up, it's still going to be a little rough for him. But in general, I think that there's still going to be some good strength in Power Friendship. I think they made the right call switching their tempo for snaking and giving him something that improves himself early. He's still going to have synergy with his teammates between negative armor, like you said, the Shadow Wave, the Howl for the Treants. Most of their lineup all syncs up really nicely. The Earthshaker is probably the most out of place because he's naturally defensive. He's better at counter initiating than initiating, but he can still fill whatever role he needs. And then same with the Puck is a little out of place, but if he gets momentum and just can go, like I said, for a more aggressive build and start snowballing, then he's in a fine position too. So across the board, I think that Power Friendships have the superior draft, even though it's not the one that they were looking for originally.
And for SwaG and Tiger here, who have the more uniform kind of a lineup where most bases are covered, great enforcement coming up from Spirit Breaker, the splash AoE from your Tide, and a great rounded late game with Pepita. I can't help but feel like this game could be on, or at least a lot of it needs to be on, King Ragnar here with the Spirit Breaker and the tone he sets in the early game. And we'll have to see where he's going to put his priorities, and I don't know if it should be for the Puck or not, who's very, very elusive as it stands here. Looks like as the game does get finally underway, game number 2 of this best of 3, where we do have Power Friendship already up 1 game right now to SwaG, who are just trying to get a win to take it to a 3-game stretch. Early to the bottom lane, Vengeful Spirit will drop a nice lane ward here, and she will see MJW with a ward on hand. He's going to walk away. They'll see there's no more ward on hand, and I think they'll know where the ward is. So they're going to quickly move in and be able to easily take care of it. That's easy 50 gold and some experience as well, Blaze.
I think the only question is, who do they give the experience to? They can all walk away from this, and then somebody can get half a level to start off, and I think they're waiting exactly for that. So they're going to get Spectre the half a level to start and 50 gold. You're almost tempted to give her the bounty rune just to give her the free level 2, but of course Invoker is going to require it more so.
Very nice early ward grab, and as you said, Invoker should be able to get this rune easily, and then that will leave Power Friendship with the top rune here for Poop, and they'll be steady as she goes here. It doesn't look like anything too different going to be happening as far as the laning setup. Snake King's already set up here with a Ring of Protection on hand. He's going to be blocking out what looks like the mid lane here, Blaze. Not going to be blocking out the off lane here for MJW. So just making that this Nature's Prophet should be able to kind of handle his own, or at least provide a better block with the assistance of these trees. Alright, I guess MJW is just going to do it the old-fashioned way here. He'll just block it with his body and take his business elsewhere. Should he be concerned about hanging around the mid lane in case the Spirit Breaker becomes a bit of a problem and just make some stacks, or do you think he should be more committed to one of the side lanes?
It's nice to get Puck at least level 2 to make sure that he gets the early start. Usually Spirit Breaker is going to wait till he has his passive and his charge in order to make a play happen, but you never know. For now, just being in the river is pretty good because he can always try to get that flanking position. Tide, again, very exposed to Fisher, and that's going to be the key opportunity as he goes in for this hard flank, is he can just block off their retreat and get some good damage in.
Let's see, he doesn't commit anything quite yet. I'm sure they saw maybe creep in from behind. An early commitment to Poison Touch here for Mario.
Yeah, Tide can't withstand that very effectively. Obviously, Kraken Shell won't block it at all. He's going to have to chew through just a bunch of extra tangos because of that poison touch.
Uh-oh. Here they go. Looking around the corner, possibly. Mario's committed and way from behind here. Going to get a few right clicks in, and now they might make their move. No.
Honestly, it literally comes down to Fairy Fire. If there was no Fairy Fire on the Tide, I think they go for that. But because there is, I think that's why they were hesitant.
Don't want to get him solo, only for him to kind of bounce back there with one last little burst of life. And next thing you know, have a turnaround on your hands, and this aggro lane is going to be going great for SwaG and Tiger. Now they're thinking about maybe getting the poison touch move onto King Ragnar here. But quickly, Dolce's going to be looking to zone back the Dazzle right now, and suddenly he's caught between three. They get a good fissure to block him back, and he's going to be forced to turn and walk the other way. Uh-oh. Can they get the extra bit of damage? Mario's the only ranged one, but he's got the second poison touch. He's going to be forced to commit the Fairy Fire, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, okay. That's right. The own team bad manner pause coming out from SwaG and Tiger, just giving their Dolce partner here a little run for his money. And
still should go down. Magic Stick and Salve is not going to be enough here. Worst case scenario, Puck would have to go throw one orb out, but yeah, Dolce is going to leave him on a merry chase before he dies, and that's not even going to be that merry as they just mango it up.
Pager's going to be committed for that one. Mid lane, a casual trade of Cold Snap happening here, both looking to kind of get the better, at least Invoker trying to get it a bit back. Oh, even getting value out of his Fairy Fire there by dropping the Null. Poop is up and ahead, though, 10-3 to CS, but Invoker nipping at the heels here, 8-2. We briefly scout at the bottom, where we have MJW now sporting level 3 and going straight for the phase boots at this point. But now we see more interestingly, mid lane, Invis Ned pops in, Magic Missile. Do they have enough? And he gets off the silence. Can he jaunt away? Fairy Fire committed. Poop's going to be good. Too much damage from Ned. He's going to go down. And that's an easy pickup for Puck. Fairy Fire does it again, but I think he would have been fine with regardless. Doesn't matter, though. Vengeful Spirit, it's 2 ahead now for Power of Friendship.
Yeah, I think he would have survived the initial volley, and then they would have dived slightly further and got him with the next volley of auto attacks. Okay, more pause action, but yeah, I feel like the Puck definitely relied on the Fairy Fire to help himself out there. If he had just orbed and then phased out, then it probably would have been a little bit cleaner for him, but getting all that return damage, getting the Vengeful Spirit to think she had the chance at the kill, and then took that one extra auto attack from the tower, that makes all the difference. And now Power Friendship up 2-0. It's going to be harder and harder lanes for the Spirit Breaker to get involved in. Like, he TP'd back up top to help out this Tide, but I don't feel like he's able to actually contest this lane. I don't think he's able to really get involved. He's an Orb of Venom, Stout Shield, Spirit Breaker with no tangos. So any damage is permanent, and he has to play it passive.
We'll see if he's going to be forced into that kind of docile position right now, or if he's still going to be able to kind of swing his way into getting some CS here, but we'll have to see.
Oh, okay, that was close. He goes for the Tranquil Boots accidentally and is able to disassemble them.
Oh, good quick catch.
Yeah, snaking is, he's trying to do just get the Vlad's progression, and because the Ring of Protection and Ring of Regen both apply to that, he kind of can't really do that until he gets the Sage's Mask, so that would have been bad if he didn't get the 10-second window and disassemble.
He's good, though. He got right back it apart, and we'll have to wait it out for that one, but Spirit Breaker steps back to base. I don't think he should be returning to the top lane. Would you agree with this? Do you think it's time for him to kind of take his business elsewhere? Looks like he
Absolutely. Will. Yeah, like, I mean, it's unfortunate still for the Tide that this creep camp has been blocked off so long. They waited until just after the 0-minute mark to plan it, so it's not going to be spawning until 5. And the 5-minute spawn, Tide starts stacking that up and anchor smashing. It doesn't really matter. Like, that hard camp hardly matters at that point. So already it's unfortunate that the Sentry stayed in place, that Dolce doesn't have a second option. He may very well just go all the way back to his own jungle and start just Dark Severing it and go in farming the Radiant jungle, because his options have been limited quite significantly by the supports of Power Friendship.
Well, as we pause, we can maybe look at the other side of the globe here. Looks like phase online here for Nature's Prophet. Ned, after an unsuccessful gank towards the mid lane, is working with some casual pulls here. In the meantime, kind of setting the stage for Pepita to continue farming up on the Spectre here. Really grab for the poor man's shield, but nothing too hairy at this point. MJW always going to be at the ready globally to kind of participate in anything, but it's still going to be a bit slow running at the start here. I mean, Puck is getting pretty close to level 6. Do you think they should find a validated reason to be able to put this coil to use as soon as she gets it here, or is time on their side, or at least until the lycanthrope kind of gets in, you know, good shape for at least a fight and then a Roche follow-up?
I mean, there are plenty of options once that coil comes through. That means like the Invoker has to be very wary of just even being confronted with him. I wouldn't say that Puck has to rotate to a side lane to try to use the coil. He could just straight up coil the Invoker, teleport in the Nature's Prophet, maybe Earthshaker hits up the tier 1 tower, and that's a kill. So, of course, they'll need to bring in Dust, they'll need to lay the preparation, but in general, like the Puck doesn't have to go anywhere to take advantage of his ulti.
All right, looks like we are going to have a little bit of an extra pause here still as they waited out. They didn't really say how much, but it does look like Mikey J. White here is having a little issue with this game. So we'll disconnect and reconnect here. And I can take this moment. We'll go back and look at the bracket here. For anyone just tuning in, welcome. We have already started the BTS America's 3 Cup. As you can see, there's already been a couple of matches that have happened in the past couple of days here. Blaze has been like mostly heading a lot of that action, so thank you so much, Blaze, of course, for stepping in for a lot of the games. We witnessed already Archon be able to best, just earlier today, Evernova, and now they're going to be waiting into the next round. Before that, though, Freedom able to make it past Leviathan. Elite Wolves bested Boreal Esports, and now they will be going toe-to-toe in the next round. And also, Digital Chaos making it past Not Today and Goody Squad. And a bit of an upset here. I don't know, did you catch this game, Shazam versus Balrogs? I believe that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually quite surprising.
But it looks like we do have a game here, and we'll put that first. But I do want to
trust me, dude. There'll be another pause. We got time.
You're right. Well, remind me to ask you that again in our next upcoming pause. But bottom lane, Ned, casual magic missile to kind of keep MJW away from, get away from my creeps, get away from my pull. But MJW's happy to be a little of a pest here if it means getting some more XP and loot for himself.
So right now we're going to be seeing a bit of a group up top. They got the Wolves at level 1, but it's just with the Ring of Basilius, they're going to be able to put some tower pressure at it. And then Tide, anytime he comes up to try to defend it, he's going to be in some real trouble. One Fisher will really do a lot of damage along with that Shadow Wave. Yeah, there's no hope for him. He's going to run as best he can, but worst case, the Nature's Prophet teleports in to finish the job.
He's still making him work for it here. Anchor Smash is at least. There he is. Almost got the KS there, MJW, but not going to be good enough. Instead, they'll turn this into momentum for a nice early tier 1 push. So Tidehunter goes down. Treants are out, and it looks like a tier 1's going to be in the books for them. At the same moment, Pepita is trying his best to at least get his fair share of tower damage right now.
Why are they contesting this? This seems very dangerous considering their deficit.
It's 4-2 right now, and this isn't like they have any sort of ravage. Towers down, and they're in trouble. Dolce going to get caught up with a Sprout right now. They block him off with the Fissure. All right, good, respectable Anchor Smash damage. Charge is going to be out for King Ragnar, looking to go for MJW right now. They trade blows here. No forgiving bash coming out yet, and looks like Power Friendship might be able to fully walk it away, but King Ragnar might have hung around a bit too long. There's another Sprout.
Oh, the Fissure?
He has charge. There's a Fissure. They're going to need to get him down fast. Can they get him? It looks like they'll be able to make it away from trouble. Good EMP. Good step in comes out from 7ZY, and the Invoker will be able to pick up a kill, taking down MJW.
Radiant's middle tower.
I don't know, that's kind of a surprising move from SwaG, though, making a 4-man rotation with absolutely no guarantee that PoF do anything but just walk away. They take the Dire take the tower. Spectre gets a little bit of space. Obviously, if the level 6 had come out a little bit earlier in the Spectre, the rotation makes sense. Like, there's so much value in the Haunt. But because Spectre was just a little bit behind, she didn't get that bounty rune, but no, wasn't able to bring in the ultimate, and that meant that their entire rotation didn't create as much value as if they wanted it to. Of course, the Invoker still picks up the Nature's Prophet on the back end, but again, that wasn't anywhere near 100%. That was just a kind of lucky thing that MJW kept fighting.
Yeah, that 4 rotation was more of like a 2-man rotation, and then 2 others happened to trickle in a bit later, but conveniently for them, because it was almost late enough that it enticed Power Friendship to kind of turn around and make one, fight happen. First round was the Spirit Breaker coming in, and then suddenly Invoker showed up, and they realized that they might have just bit off more they can chew. So they ended up losing one, and back they go here. So we'll see. The next step, it looks like they finally let Tidehunter just get his own lane by himself. Lycan will still be able to get the better out of the lane, but at least this way he can get to that level 6 and at least get Ravage online.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's what you do as soon as the Spirit Breaker gets forced out of the lane. Like, he doesn't come back, in my mind. Once he gets his level 2, he goes elsewhere, and we really haven't seen him do anything Nature Prophet. We will see, however, up top, Snaking, getting a ton of spells against him. The Tornado setup, perfectly done, but Spectre commits up top with the Reality. I thought she'd just lend the Haunt, maybe grab a last hit. Instead, she's up here, and they're looking to push up against counter pushers such as the Puck and the Earthshaker.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be easy for any sort of push, and maybe he couldn't Reality back to bottom lane fast enough or something, but he picks up the TP.
He's back to Fountain. I don't know. That's like the second time that I've been really questionable about how Petita's moved on the map, but it will cost him about 30 seconds of farm time here.
Uh-oh, and that leaves Dolce alone. Up here, they hit him with a big power bomb right now of a heal. And now with the Wolves and the Howl power coming on through, they're going to be able to right-click down the big Watermelon Man, and they'll get it. Way2 picks up the last hit, and he is suddenly on a killing spree on his Earthshaker right now. This is a 4-position Earthshaker has been very involved in the laning phase, and has suddenly got 1,000 gold. He quickly spends it. He's going to get his fast Soul Ring here, but he's making some good timing and some great fight participation here. And, well, I guess you could say just as equally, Blaze, that SwaG and Tiger are making some questionable decisions.
Yeah, a little bit. They're just looking for opportunities, and where there normally aren't any, sometimes it works out okay, but just across the board in general, they aren't getting that much because the Tide is not level 6. About to get it. And I feel like the Invoker hasn't gotten enough out of the solo lane to make up for the fact that there have been so many heroes forced to top. Like, he hasn't actually left mid, and you look at it and he's still so far behind the Puck. The Puck is actually 13 last hits above, as well as 1 kill. So the Invoker, this Wex Invoker, obviously good for counter push, but this Wex Invoker is not even going to be able to get an early hand of Midas. He's going to have to go for like a tempo build with this Wex build.
Uh-oh, Ned's in trouble. Can they get this kill without even popping the coil? It looks like they will. Easy Fissure, Orbs damage comes through, and Poop will pick up the last hit. Are they going to follow through with the grab on the Pepita here? I don't think so. And they'll pull off. All right, good quick movement. Casual grab towards the rune there, but I was just before that going to be asking, you know, for both these mid laners who have been kind of residing in their mid lanes for a good portion of the early game. How soon before we see them begin to get proactive? And it was going to be the Dream Coil, but it's not even with the coil here. Mid lane, oh, casual cancel onto the Dazzle, who is just trying to get his own levels together here so he can get maybe a weave or some extra points in the grave and get the range together here. Just some support priority farm, it looks like. Oh, bottom lane, I missed a catch. It's Ned going down. That's back-to-back takedowns from him, both by the hands of Poop.
All right, and that is going to be a Blink Dagger coming out for him very quickly. Going to be able to make the quick jumps happen, and he's almost got the Waning Rift maxed out. So the very short cooldown pretty much syncs up with the Blink, and he can just be darting in and out of the fights, doing a lot of work. And then he'll go Treads, and then I'm curious from there if he goes for the Yules, or we used to see some like European Pucks also go for Midas to build themselves their phase shift up faster and stuff like that. I'm really a big fan of Dagon in this game, but we'll see what he decides.
Bottom lane, it looks like Power Friendship want to make their move towards this tier 1. Charges coming in. It looks like they might have spotted the Spirit Breaker here. They're going to know King Ragnar is in the neighborhood. We'll see what kind of move they're going to be looking to make. Puck still has the Dream Coil right now. And it looks like they might end up just getting the tower for free. SwaG not even bothering with any sort of casual defense at that point. Mid lane, the second attempt on Dazzle seems to be a good one here for 7ZY. Tornado EMP looking to get Mario here. Pepita commits in with the Haunt, gets the kill, and Realities right back, but that is because a miss. Oh, Poop tried to go for the coil as she stepped away.
Dire's top tower is under
That was a good Reality back. That would have been actually very difficult to fight if she had got caught by the silence, but obviously Poop was not in range, and Pepita makes his jump back safely to the jungle. He was once again walking all the way back to base. He took a lot of damage just jungling, but you know, he doesn't have any sustain tools right now. No Ring of Health. He's relying on this dispersion really heavily just to kill off the creeps, but it costs him pretty much a lot in HP. He's going to be doing some low HP farming and hoping that there's not enough Dire Vision to punish it.
Uh-oh, Invoker has spotted out 2 PoF members in their jungle here. It doesn't look like he's going to do much about it, seeing he's a little bit outnumbered. And will take his business back towards the mid lane, it would appear. Power Friendship possibly looking elsewhere here. This has been some seriously value time right now for this Tidehunter, who's now level 8. He's got Arcanes now together. Obviously, he still has his Ravage, but He's getting some solid solo farm time up here. Ned is helping him out by creating a bit of extra space. But one by one, the towers begin to fall here towards the side of Power Friendship. They were looking like they were going to go towards the mid lane blaze, but now with the DD rune and all these trees and everything good to go, they're going to make their move right into the pit.
Yeah, I don't want to take for granted to not talk a little bit about this the scaling of these heroes and the timing windows each side is looking for. Although it's so clear-cut between the heroes, it might be not as apparent to newer viewers. So while we look for a contest, oh, they're going to Tornado MP. We'll see a contest, but with the rush already down.
Okay, good choke point catch with Tornado and set EMP. Snake King quick to shapeshift here. He's going to have no mana now, but look at Poop steps in, gets a nice coil. Follow-up from Dolce is a good Ravage. Can they get the damage? They get the quick kill. They're going to be taking out MJW. Mario also to fall here. Mighty Dunk comes out from way too right inside the pit, but they're not able to get the finish here. A lot of people low on life. Can they clean them up? Yes, they can. Double kill right down the middle. Comes out from way too with a brilliant fissure. And now they're going to go ahead and step away with their huge winnings. SwaG lose 4. Power Friendship will lose their Aegis quick, but they walk away with the biggest set of money.
I just don't feel like SwaG are playing around their cooldowns properly. They didn't have Haunt for that fight. They could have had so much value out of using the Haunt with the Tornado EMP and getting that the means of starting the engagement. But of course, the Haunt was used earlier for just a little pick off on the Dazzle, and I don't know, it's PoF that were taking advantage of the Haunt being on cooldown, but SwaG trying to fight in spite of it. The Ravage was great, the EMP was solid, but obviously the Rosh had already been slain, and from there the fight was very difficult for them. So they get the Aegis out early, they don't have to worry about that. In fact, MJW might be in some trouble here. Drum counteracts a lot of that Spectral Dagger, and that's it.
That's a Haunt committed too.
Yeah, Pepita's either SwaG is making bad calls as far as Haunt usage, or Pepita just is a little bit too quick on the trigger. But like a solo kill is not what you need to use the Haunt for in this game. Like some games it definitely is. Build momentum, get earn charges maybe if he had it, but in this game it's much more about just being able to prevent PoF from taking objectives. You need the Haunt for it. But to go back to a point I was kind of making earlier is while a lot of people will just make pretty clear assumptions about the timing. Oh, this ward should set up a good opportunity on Snake King, who doesn't have an ultimate, and they just need a little bit more follow through, a little bit more damage. He's going to try to TP. The bash will not come through, and he's home free. Down bottom.
Not here with the Mighty King, but bottom lane, that simultaneous pickoff here. This one's going to be onto that lone Invoker. As they see the jump happen towards Snake King, they know it. The coast is clear, and they'll walk away with a good, solid pickoff right now. They continue to move up 11-5. This net worth continues to climb their way, getting close to that 7,500 net worth advantage. Tier 2 will get that much closer right now. We'll have to see if SwaG want to respond. They have Tide here, who has Ravage in 5 seconds. Charge coming in from King Ragnar. He wants MJW. He'll be able to bump him here. Does not have the Nether Strike though, so they won't be able to catch him.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Spectre
attack.
again back to Fountain, just barely getting out from the confrontation with the Earthshaker. It's just, I feel like SwaG all their engagements are just slightly unfavorable, and it's adding up very quickly. Obviously, Power Friendship are looking to end the game sooner rather than later. The second Rosh cycle is probably the timing where they want to breach the first set of racks. They can take every outer tier 2 tower without Aegis, but they want to have Aegis security for the actual high ground push. But yeah, right now just Power Friendship are coming online a lot faster. SwaG, they're trying to get items out as quick as they can, because if they get the Invoker Orchid and they can start pressuring for solo kills, if they get the Tide Mechanism or Blink, and they can actually start team fighting better. If Spectre gets anything and starts scaling harder, we can see them gradually approach that late game dominance that all their heroes are capable of. But right now Power Friendship are large and in charge, and it doesn't seem like there's anything to stop them.
Yeah, this game looks even more difficult to come back from than the first games for SwaG and Tiger. You're banking that this Tidehunter hopefully will get a Blink Dagger together. Well, freaking way too over here has had his Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, a 4-position support Earthshaker for like 2 minutes now. Uh-oh, Ned walks into trouble. He's dead in like 2 spells. See you later, Vengeful Spirit. Gonna be handing off maybe the Aura? Nope, not even that. So, hard times for SwaG and Tiger, but Pepita now in a bit of trouble. Goes up to the high ground to make it away. They got the coil. Uh-oh, gonna go for the TP. Poison touch. Fissure's gonna be there, and Pepita Soon gonna be Pepita. Poop, wicked sick, man. It's hard to gauge because really we don't know how strong of a team SwaG and Tiger is, Blaze, but I gotta say, their stand-in Poop isn't too bad of a player.
Not at all. He only had a 2-1 record with them before, but now he's looking to very quickly make it a 4-1, and those numbers, even a small sample size, are pretty happy. We're gonna see this play here. Invoker in the tree line. It might actually get him. Oh, the tornado will not prevent.
That's heartbreaking right there. And then to get finished with a giant log to your face, I mean, that is just cruel, man. Way too, man. I remember a game back at TI4 group stage. This guy fissured up the Roche pit, walked in, stole the Aegis. He plays a mean Earthshaker support. But here we are, SwaG and Tiger thirsty for action, thirsty to kind of get a kill to get them back into the game. King Ragnar, no. A bit too ambitious if you're trying to get a hold of the mighty Snake King there. We'll have to pull off and away from trouble, and this is where Power Friendship just begin to slowly take over, recognizing the advantage they have right now. Look at this. They're even smoked up. Way 2's about to cross corners here with King Ragnar. Hi, how you doing? There's an echo for you. Boom! Out of there. Unmerciful action coming out from Power Friendship. Ned even. He's dying to the wolves. The big bad wolf has shown up. Magic missile. Nope, not going to be enough. He goes down. Snake King. No mercy from him.
And they're definitely going to take some tier 2s off of this. I'd like to say 2, but there's a team fight potential in the tide that it might be better just to go for 1 real quick. But we're going to see just delay of game tactics from 7ZY, and he's still trying to get that Orchid, but it's not coming out anywhere near in time. I mean, the Puck already has Dagon 1 and could still go back for the Yules to counteract the Orchid. It's not a good position for SwaG to be in economically, but they're going to consider the charge, lose the tier 2, and they'll just try to take the fight up top if Power Friendship put it on them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, considering the charge has been a King Ragnar special this game, and he's considering not doing them most of the time, unfortunately. Pepita trying his best to find any sort of split farm on the side, man. He is getting close towards the Relic, sporting nearly 3k gold already in reserve, but it feels like it's going to be an eternity away at this point for the advantage already that Power Friendship have. I dare look at the net worth graph, and it is sloped down pretty damn far.
Man, not a pretty sight, to be honest, but there's still hope with SwaG and Tiger taking like 1 or 2 fights. You can't underestimate the power of a Spectre's Haunt. Like, she could still bring a lot of value, but then you got to look over at Mario picking up a mechanism. Like, how do you actually kill anybody when they've got so much behind them? You got the 250 heal, the Shadow Wave heals for 140, and then of course you've got the Grave behind it. It's just really difficult, and they're gonna go for Guardian Greaves. They're gonna be able to reinforce their push and continue to sustain themselves, and SwaG are gonna be running out of options pretty quickly.
I'm trying to see what collectively their final hurrah may be. I mean, they got the blink on the Tide, which is a great start. If they don't show it, it could be a useful tactic for either a big counter.
He's had that actually a few minutes, so they definitely know.
They do know. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Another considered charge there from King Ragnar. He'll quickly pull off before he crosses the river. It's nighttime now, though, and everyone's getting a bit itchy to kind of scout out if the Roche is going to be up in early time or not. SwaG just need to kind of see if they can predict what Power Friendship are going to do and see if they can try to be one step ahead. The fight could get them a pretty damn big net worth rubber band trade, but I don't know if that opportunity is going to present itself anytime soon. It looks like Power Friendship have now smoked up, and they're going to consider going on the move here. Wards in the hand of Mario. He's looking to kind of get some aggressive vision down. Alright, looks like he'll get it.
Alright, so Pepita's farming up top, and now he's not going to be able to haunt out if they go in with the Orchid. They do not see him in the trees just yet. The Sprout helps out a little bit, but they don't have a cancel on that stun. So, well, they can prevent him from casting. They're going to ulti in mid, and that's where the kill is going to happen as Poop jumps in.
Yep, quick kill on the Invoker will take him out of the picture. And I think Pepita is a bit on edge right now.
The line has been drawn. Don't fucking leave the base. Yeah, this is not
I could taste the conflict right now on the team and for Pepita right now. It's a bit palpable at this moment, but I can understand the bit of frustration here. It's their first round play, and it's looking like it could end up in a 2-0 stomp at this point.
Is under attack.
For SwaG and Tiger, it could be quickly back to the drawing board on where they end up. Here comes tier 2 pressure from Power Friendship now. Can we get a big Ravage play? A swap, a Spectre Haunt,
top tower has
Tornado
fallen.
EMP combo. The womboest of combos here. We'll have to see, but I don't know.
You can list off every one of their spells and more, and I still don't know if it's going to be enough.
Pepita, he crossed the line he drew out for himself, and now he quickly realizes that even himself is not safe out there.
Oh my god, this guy is so mad.
He's mad at his team or something.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Okay, well, he's back in dead now, 30 seconds. His power of friendship got to be feeling pretty good at this point. We'll look at the Roche timer here. It's a long one, so I guess SwaG and Tiger do have that going for themselves. They'll have to wait another 30 seconds before they get the Aegis here. But it's looking like power of friendship's game to lose at this point. Orchid's going to be coming online soon. I guess that's okay because I don't see any BKBs here. A lot of greedy items on the side of power of friendship, so you never know. I'm trying to be devil's advocate here.
You'll see that possibly coming into play, but right now it's Necro 3. It's practically Ags on Furion. One lane of rocks will get him it, but right now they're just going to go for the Roshan. And like I said, Rosh 2 is the timing where PoF are at their peak by comparison to SwaG. And even if the Radiance comes out, I don't know if it's enough, but right now Pepita, that 1100 gold away from the recipe is huge because it's unlikely he's going to be able to farm up that amount before the entire lineup of PoF are knocking at the base. The only reason that may not be true is if he sells items. If he sells like the Torment Shield, the Magic Wand, and farms up a bunch right now, then I think he'll have the recipe, but even then he's just throwing away a lot of gold.
Hard news to read here for SwaG and Tiger and their fans. The Roche goes down, and now you have a Lycan Aegis here picked up. I guess he is the best option, even though Lycan is not really a great Aegis candidate, given that he has to, kind of work around his shapeshift after all. But I guess it's either him or the Puck, and they figured the Lycan will get a lot, maybe an early set of Wolves and an extra bit of Howl, guaranteed Necro book. Let's see what they do with it now. Is Power Friendship head to the bottom lane here, looking to close the series out in a dominant 2-0 fashion. Can SwaG and Tiger somehow find a prayer to pull this one back? Maybe someone from Power Friendship will disconnect. Let's see what they can do. Oh my god, look at the creeps. Wolves, trees, all howled up. Necro book. They just start chewing away at this tier 3. Glyph's going to be popped out. They are going to find a little bit of split farm here. Pepita's working at the top lane. Spirit Breaker by her side. Looks like Spirit Breaker will be quick to head back to base. There's a jump in Ravage coming out from Dolce. Not going to be able to get the Gush connection onto Poop here. Snake King goes right into Wolf form and goes right for the racks. Now King Ragnar going to get caught up in a Sprout. Slowly poked down here a bit. There's a fissure. They get the jump for Ned. Ned tries to swap Tidehunter to help, but he goes down. Jumping dunk comes out from way 2, and it's over.
Rage just absolutely raged out.
Pepita is like, I have had enough. I am out of here. He is left. The game is over. Power of friendship.
That is how friendships end. Power of friendship have broken SwaG and Tiger.
Oh.
Dire victory.
All right.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's really rough to try to pick that kind of late game lineup into something that can go as quick pace as PoF went. Like I said, PoF could have gone for the hard carry still, but they knew that they could just exploit the weaknesses of SwaG. They knew the Spectre wouldn't be able to get online in time. They just Lycan, Fury on it. They win their lanes through the Howl right clicks and the fact that their supports are just really good at finding those opportunities to trade and to fight. As we saw up top, those 3v2s every single time favored PoF, and then from there it's just like that the top defense got really awkward really quickly, and the entire time the Invoker was losing, the Spectre was losing by comparison to the mid and the carry of the opposing team. And finally Spectre gets the Radiance. Like, he's actually, while the Ravage is coming out, he's last hitting a last camp of creeps to try to get the Radiance, but if you can't, yeah, it's just too little too late. Like, this is a 25-minute win. This is Power Friendship showing how dominant they can be, and I really want to see how they fare against the next round opponent.
So congratulations to Power Friendship. They look like a pretty strong group of just ragtag players right now who I know have been through a couple of qualifiers, but they're looking to kind of walk away with a good chunk of money. But for SwaG and Tiger, we do bid them adieu. They're their road in BTS Americas will be over. After all, this is only a single elimination bracket. We can look over the updated bracket now. I say updated, but I actually didn't update it. Sorry, that one would be on me. I'm not too multitask heavy. But moving now into the next round, they await their opponent between Team Enemy and Infamous. To be honest with you, I don't know much about either of those teams, but this is going to be a learning experience for all of us as we get to...
Infamous is unknown, so hopefully you know plenty about them.
All right, but doesn't change the fact that we're going to be learning and seeing a whole lot of new faces throughout this tournament. It's going to be a great learning experience for some quality American Dota, and it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you all the action today. I'm trying to look up what's going to be in store for us tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow there's going to be only one best of 3 here. It's going to be happening about 3 p.m. Pacific, or for all of you European American Dota fans, I believe that happens at midnight CET. So looking forward to that action. It's going to be NME versus Infamous. Actually, the match we were just talking about is going to be happening tomorrow, so that should be a good one. And that will wrap things up for today. So firstly, Blaze, thank you again so much for coming in and stepping in for the first series, and shout outs to Moppax for helping you out. But that will wrap things up. I'm KotLGuy, and well, we'll catch you tomorrow for more Beyond the Summit BTS America's action. Please take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and best of luck in all your Dota games. See you next time.